Millionaire cowboy finds freezing nurse at the train station. Their love story made history. The winter winds howled across the empty Wyoming plains as the town of Silver Ridge slept under a thick blanket of snow. Midnight had long passed, but the train station lantern still flickered weakly, struggling against the icy gusts. Only one person stood beneath it, a young woman wrapped in a thin coat, shivering violently as flakes gathered on her lashes. Her name was Evelyn Hart, a traveling nurse who had lost far too much in life. She had come west chasing a promise of work, a letter inviting her to serve as a nurse in the mining camps. But the man who had written that letter never arrived to pick her up. The station master had locked the office and left. The night grew colder. And Evelyn stayed, because she had nowhere else to go. She hugged her suitcase tighter, feeling the sting of frost on her fingers. "Lord, give me strength just for this night," she whispered as another wave of wind cut through her coat like a knife. Just then, the distant sound of hoofbeats echoed through the icy stillness. At first, she feared it was trouble, bandits, drunks, or worse. But the rider who emerged from the snowstorm was tall, broad-shouldered, and wrapped in a heavy fur coat. His hat brim was coated in icy flakes. His horse, a massive black stallion, snorted clouds of steam into the air. The man reined in carefully, eyes narrowing as he spotted her trembling beneath the lantern. "Ma'am," he drawled, voice deep and warm despite the cold, "you'll freeze to death out here." Evelyn tried to speak, but her lips trembled too hard. I was supposed to be picked up, but nobody came." The cowboy dismounted, stepping closer with quiet authority. "My name is Cole Maddox," he said gently. "I own Maddox Ranch, just outside town. What are you doing out here dressed like that in this weather?" Evelyn swallowed, ashamed of how desperate she sounded. "I'm a nurse. I traveled 2 days to get here, but the man who hired me didn't come. I don't know where to go." Cole looked her over, her shaking form, blue fingertips, and the stubborn resolve in her eyes. "You won't survive another hour out here," he said. "Come with me. I'll get you warm." She hesitated. "Sir, I can't just go with a stranger." "Ma'am," he cut in softly, removing his hat, "you ain't safe out here alone. I'll take you to my ranch. My sister lives there. You can rest, eat, and decide what you wanna do come morning." His sincerity washed over her like relief. "All right," she whispered. Cole wrapped his heavy coat around her shoulders before lifting her gently onto his horse. She felt an unexpected safety in his arms, like the storm suddenly wasn't so frightening. They rode through the night, snow swirling around them. She leaned against him, exhausted, barely keeping her eyes open. "You're safe now," Cole murmured. For the first time in months, Evelyn believed it. Maddox Ranch sat against tall pines, lights glowing through frosted windows. The moment Cole carried her inside, warmth engulfed her. His sister, Abigail Maddox, rushed forward. "Cole, what in heaven's name?" She was abandoned at the station. "Near frozen," he explained. Abigail wrapped Evelyn in a thick shawl and guided her to the hearth. Soon, warm broth and fresh bread were placed in her hands. As she regained strength, Cole stood quietly near the doorway, arms crossed, watching her like someone making sure a fragile life didn't slip away again. When he finally spoke, his voice was quieter. "You got a place to stay in this town." Evelyn shook her head. "Any family waitin' on you?" Another shake. Cole turned to Abigail. "She stays here. Until she finds her feet." That night, warm beneath quilts, Evelyn whispered a small prayer of gratitude for the stranger who had saved her. Over the next days, Evelyn learned the truth about Cole Maddox. He wasn't just a rancher. He wasn't just wealthy. He wasn't just respected. He was loved, by the town, by his workers, by anyone who crossed paths with him. Maddox Ranch was one of the largest in Wyoming, but Cole treated every ranch hand like family. He funded the town's school, rebuilt the church after a fire, and donated supplies to struggling families. Evelyn, meanwhile, did what she knew best: she helped. She bandaged ranch hands, treated fevers, and even nursed a sick calf back to health. And Cole watched her with a quiet admiration that grew deeper each day. One afternoon, as she checked a ranch hand's injured wrist, Cole approached her. "You've been workin' hard," he said. "I'm a nurse," she smiled softly. "It's what I do. You do it better than most." She looked up, surprised by the warmth in his tone. Something unspoken passed between them. One bitter evening, a stagecoach rolled into Silver Ridge carrying the man who had originally hired Evelyn. His name was Dr. Pierce, a cold, sharp-tongued mining physician. He stormed into Maddox Ranch demanding Evelyn return with him. "You signed a contract. I paid your travel fare, you work for me." Evelyn stepped back, trembling at his harshness. Cole moved between them, tall and unyielding. "She ain't goin' anywhere she don't want to go." Dr. Pierce glared. "This is none of your concern. She is my employee." Cole's eyes hardened. "She's a human being, not property." Dr. Pierce sneered. "You think she'll choose you? You, a rancher?" Cole's voice was calm but deadly. "I don't care if she chooses me. But I'll be damned if I let you bully her." Evelyn stepped forward, heart pounding. "Doctor, I'm not going with you. You'll regret this." He barked before storming out. But Evelyn didn't regret it. Not even for a moment. Weeks passed, and winter slowly began to loosen its grip. One evening, Evelyn found Cole sitting alone on the porch, staring at the stars. She stepped quietly beside him. "Cole, you all right?" He exhaled slowly. "I ain't been able to stop thinkin' about you since the night I found you at that station." Her breath caught. "You don't have to say anything," he added gruffly. "Cole," she whispered, placing a hand on his arm, "I feel safe with you. I haven't felt that in years." He turned to her, eyes soft and full of emotion. "I ain't never met someone like you. You're gentle, brave, and you've brought warmth into this house I didn't even know was missin'." Her heart fluttered as he continued. "I don't wanna scare you off. But I'm fallin' for you, Evie." The nickname melted through her. She swallowed, voice trembling. "I think I'm falling for you too." Cole stood slowly, pulling her into his arms. "You're home now," he whispered against her hair. And she knew it was true. The town soon buzzed with whispers, "Cole Maddox is courting the nurse." And they were right. Their love grew like spring after a long winter. Cole took her riding through the pines. Evelyn brought warmth into every corner of Maddox Ranch. Abigail nearly cried every time she saw them together. Then one morning, Cole led Evelyn to the hill overlooking the ranch. Snow still dusted the pines, but the sun painted everything gold. He knelt before her. "Evelyn Hart, you walked into my life on the coldest night of the year. Since then, you've warmed every piece of me I thought was frozen for good. Will you marry me?" Tears streamed down her cheeks. "Yes, Cole, yes." Their wedding became the most celebrated event in Silver Ridge history. People said they had never seen the town glow brighter. And in the months that followed, Evelyn didn't just become Mrs. Maddox. She opened the first free medical clinic in the region, funded entirely by Cole. Together, they changed countless lives. Together, they wrote a love story that the West would never forget.